Well, I guess that's it.
What's it?
No more kids for us. So only 9 seats, 7 kids, 2 of us. The Suburban's full, so no more kids.
Unless you get a different vehicle, like one of those big vans.
I can't get a van. Now you spell van?
V-A-N?
No. M-C-S.
What does that mean?
Man card shredder.
Shredder?
You get a van, you might as well shred the man card. Gone.
Who have you been?
Oh, it's Brandon. Overland to Water, guy with the Suburban.
Brandon will get you into trouble.
Oh.
What?
Ah.
No.
I mean,
Josh.
I get to keep my man card, and you get to have more kids. So win-win. Welcome back to Trove One, everybody. I have a confession to make. I have done it again. I have purchased another Suburban. But not just any Suburban. This, as you can see, is a square body. This is a 1979. But this is not just any 1979. This is an 8-door 1979 Chevy Suburban. I have to thank Overland to Water, Brandon over at Overland to Water. You can go check him out. He's got a Suburban similar to mine, solid axle swapped. He tagged me in this, and I drove all the way down to Texas for this thing. And so if this doesn't go well, I'm blaming him for it being the biggest mistake of my life. But this is the biggest project I have ever even considered taking on. Well, not considered, but the biggest one I've ever purchased. This thing, I'll show you around it. It needs a lot of work. It's in rough shape. But I got some big plans for it. So let's just start with the pros of this thing. For one, it's awesome. It's got 8 doors, barn doors in the back. You could call it 10 doors, but it's really an 8-door. There's 4 down each side. This can seat up to 15 people. These, from what I know, were built by a company back in the 60s, 70s, maybe into the 80s, primarily as shuttle vehicles for airports. From what I know of the history of this one, it was at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport as a shuttle vehicle, we believe. The previous owner, the guy I bought it from, put on these gray panels, started working on it, and swapped it to 4-wheel drive, got a donor vehicle and put the front axle in, the 4-wheel drive drivetrain in it. So it is converted to 4-wheel drive. It has everything there for that. It's got a 14-bolt rear axle, good heavy-duty axle, drum brakes on there. The front axle is out of a K20. This is built off of a K20 or a C20, a 3/4 ton Suburban chassis. It is now a K20. This is out of a K20. So I believe, and y'all correct me that know these, but from what I can tell, this is a Dana 44 axle. I believe that is what it was in the K20s of this time frame. My tow truck has a Dana 60 up front, but it's a 1-ton. Probably put a Dana 60 in here at some point. But it has a 6-inch lift on it already. I believe it's a rough country lift, so it's already got about the kind of lift I would probably look at putting on it. The motor was redone about 5 years ago. Started run a little bit, and then they were gonna keep working on this thing and just never got back to it. So it has a big block 454 motor in it that has been redone and basically has no miles. What all redone means, I don't exactly know. He also said the axle's been gone through, transfer case has been gone through, and the transmission's been gone through. To what extent, I don't know, and it hasn't been run or drive in 5 years, so it's hard to say. It does have the automatic transmission, 4-wheel drive stick there, So I personally would kind of like to have the manual in it, but automatic would be fine too. It'd be easier to drive that way. Interior is, well, we got some pretty rough seats here. In the back, let me show you. In the back, the inside, it's completely gutted other than the carpet. Roof's been gutted. So it's a super cool old Suburban. There's not very many of these. They're pretty rare. And there's not even fewer that are four-wheel drive, because none of them were four-wheel drive, I don't think, when they made them. The company, they'd add in this section here. See, there's a splice in here, and there's a splice right here. There's kind of a rough weld there. There's a splice in the frame here. They added on a piece down here across the bottom, and then there's a welded spot here. So they took a Suburban, cut it, extended it, added in all these pieces. That's the good. The drivetrain looks good. The frame looks solid. It's got several good parts on it. The bad, it has a lot of bad parts. It has a lot of rust. It is in very, very rough shape. I almost didn't get it because of the rust. That is like a massive problem. We have a lot of rocker rust. Not the worst I've seen. It's not to the point of being non-salvageable, but it's really close. There's a lot of rust around the windows. There's rust here. The worst is, as is on most of these old things, the floorboards are, I haven't pulled up all the carpet. I'm going to say, just looking underneath though, there is not a lot left of the floorboards. Floorboards probably going to need to be completely redone. What's probably even worse than that is the roof. The roof is in really bad shape. There are a lot of holes in it. There used to be big roof rack on top of this thing. All these old ones that were built like this had a big roof rack for carrying luggage and cargo and everything. This one's also, at some point, either when it was originally built or later on, had a lot of Bondo work. And I'm guessing that's probably original. I don't know, but I can see where they layered the metal right here where this seam was at. And I don't know, but there's some major problems with the roof. We've got holes, we've got bad rust on the roof. The roof is in really bad shape. So, yeah, it's just rough. Rust. I mean, that cross member's half rusted away. I guess this is part of the old AC system. There's some lines running to it. It's just got a blower and it's like a condenser or something there. So, this thing needs a lot of work. I might be able to get it running and driving pretty quick, or at least somewhat. I don't know what gears are in the axles. I doubt they match, but they might match. Don't know if the motor's going to run. I don't think it's locked up from what I could tell. I'm just going to have to dig into it and find out, but it needs a lot of work. All right, so that gives you a brief overview of what we got to work with here. It's a very big project in every sense of the word. I'm gonna get off the trailer because I need to use this trailer for some other stuff, so let's get this thing unloaded. Well, it doesn't have much coolant in it, so that's one problem. It's got a little bit left in there, but not much. Gotta check everything else, see what we got. I don't think that's a super old, that's a Holley Performance carburetor. I bet that was new when they redid the motor, if I had to guess. Got some nice red transmission fluid in it. It's full on oil. Doesn't look bad. Pretty sure when they parked this, they had just redone the motor, so it probably had new oil, new transmission fluid, bunch of new parts. And they just never got around to doing anything else with it after that. It might fire up pretty easy. Another good thing so far, from what I've been able to tell, the firewall seems to be in pretty good shape, which that is a much bigger deal if your firewall is rusted out. May still have some rust in it that I haven't found yet, but so far it looks pretty decent. I'm gonna throw a jump pack on it. I just want to see if anything even acts like it might still be wired up good, because there's no telling what's happened to the wiring. Okay, the starter appears to activate. None of the gauges are doing anything though. Wonder what this switch does. See, nothing. Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna throw a battery in here that's got at least a little bit of juice in it. Hook up the jump pack and I'll kind of see if it'll crank over a little better. See if there appears to be any hope. I don't know if it's got any gas in it. I have a suspicion the tank has a leak, because it kind of looks like it might have a hole in the bottom. Let's just crank it again a little bit. That sounds quite good. That sounds better than my tow truck. Just need to see if we can get some gas in it.
Yeah, it probably has a leak somewhere. I can't see anything else. Yeah, let's see.
This has the old mechanical fuel pump down there on the bottom over there, and then it's got a fuel filter right here, and then that goes into the carburetor. I'm not the most familiar with these old engines and mechanical stuff. My tow truck is a little bit newer and it's been converted to electric, so a little bit different scenario there. Try cranking her again a little bit. Oil pressure is building. Got 30 pounds of oil pressure. See if we got any fuel in our filter. I don't see any fuel in our fuel filter there. There's probably some method of priming this. I really have no idea. I don't know, just don't know a whole lot about this thing or how these old motors work. I know a little bit. Helped my grandpa change a fuel pump on his 454 years and years ago, but I still don't know that much about how they work. I poured a little gas in the carburetor. Let's just see if that does anything. All right, put a little more gas in. Try one more time. If she'll even turn over. She tried. Okay, she just needs some fuel. We just got to get our fuel situation sorted out. I think she's gonna run. I know. That is called backfiring through the carburetor. It backfires and fire shoots up out of the carburetor. That's what that's called.
It went through the bottom.
About scared the kids to death. Yeah. Open headers are shooting fire out and the carburetor's backfiring out. Well, I'm gonna have to recharge some batteries and figure out what's going on with the fuel and if we can get that fuel pump to get us some fuel to the carburetor. All right, guys, another day working on the Suburban here. Try to get this thing, see if we can get it to run. Got a new air filter. This old one's looking like it's been sitting around for a long time. And it kind of looks like, the way this is kind of charred looking in here, I'm sort of thinking this thing may have been backfiring before I got it. So they'd rebuilt the motor supposedly and got it running and driven it some, but that doesn't mean it was necessarily running great. It might have been backfiring then. I don't know. Might need the distributor adjusted. Might be off on our timing a little bit. Who knows? But we're going to try to get some fuel to it. I got a new fuel filter, got a new air filter, I got a new battery. And we're going to try to figure out if our fuel pump's good, if we're getting fuel to it. See if we can get fuel to the carburetor. I know we're not getting fuel to the carburetor. See if we can get fuel to the carburetor. And then we'll go from there. See if we need to, we'll dig into our spark plugs a little bit. See if we can't get it to at least run a little bit. All right, we got ourselves a Super Start Platinum here from the O'Reilly's. See, I think that's our ground, our negative. Make sure we hook our battery up correctly here. Where'd our positive go? There it is. All right, pulled off part of our fuel line here. This is the old fuel filter, and this hose is quite cracked. This is the last piece going right to the carburetor, so I'm going to replace that with a new filter and a new piece of hose. Other than that, I don't know. I know underneath there's some newer pieces of fuel line going back to the tank. I don't know how much gas is in the tank. I don't know the condition of the tank. This is the hard line that comes up from the fuel pump. Looks like it's got a mixture of old hard lines and newer rubber lines. So let's see if we can get fuel here in some form or fashion. I might have an electric pump sitting around somewhere that I might be able to use and just hook up and kind of test with, but I'm not sure where it's at. That's what I'm running on the tow truck. This is a 88 K30 with the 454. Similar, newer motor than this one, but still the big block 454. I'm running electric fuel pumps on that, so a little bit different setup. All right, we got this part of the fuel line replaced, but then I got to looking at where it runs. So fuel pump on these is right down in there, and then there's a line and it runs right down the frame. This is part of the metal line. I think this is probably original, and it runs down all this. That is it right here, and it is not in great shape. The outside's in rough shape, so I'm going to assume the inside's in rough shape. So I'm going to try to disconnect it from the fuel pump, and we'll just run a new line straight to a tank here. We're going to get a new gas tank for this anyway. These old Suburbans, the gas tank is in the very, very back. So there's a big old long fuel line running on this one, obviously, all the way back here. And judging by the condition of the tank, I don't think that's been replaced recently. So I'm going to order a new tank for that. We'll get all new fuel line. I'll have to decide at some point if I'm going to stick with the mechanical fuel pump or switch to electric. I'll probably stick with mechanical for now if it works. Minimize our cost currently. Eventually, we'll probably put something size of 454 in here. But for now, we want to get it running. So see if I can get this line disconnected, just hook up a new piece and run it into a gas tank. Get it where I can just set a gas tank somewhere. I just want to get this thing where I can at least drive it around the property so I can get it into my building back there, because the rust is so bad. I don't want it getting rained on. I got to keep it from rusting anymore. That's the #1 priority. Not let it get any worse. So see if we can get it running off of just a gas can, if I can get that fuel line disconnected.
Daddy, you could put a new one there, because that's an old broken one.
All right, I got us a fuel line tied to the pump. I think it's on the input port. There's a return as well that goes back to the tank. Got it running out here. Got it going to a tank over here with a little bit of gas in it. Got a new battery in it. Got the fuel line hooked up there and a fuel filter. So let's
Daddy,
let's see if we can crank it up.
Daddy.
I'm gonna hit it with a little starter fluid. I'm not getting fuel to here, and I don't know. I probably need to go look and see if there's like a low pressure fuel pump that runs electric fuel pump in the tank. I don't think so. I think it's all mechanical from this right here, but I could be mistaken because I don't know the most about these. So might need to look that up, but it's not getting fuel to here. I don't know how much cranking I need to do to get it there. All right, after a little more cranking, we're still not getting any fuel up here. I'm going to use this. This is just a little squeeze pump. I use this on a tow truck when my electric pumps lose their prime. I can put this in line and help pull gas through it and reprime my fuel pumps on this. So I'm going to see if I can do the same thing and put it on the end of this hose and see if I can't push gas to the mechanical fuel pump. All right, this seems to potentially be working, pushing gas through the hose. And I'm seeing fuel in our fuel filter there. That's a good sign. All right, I'm seeing gas in carburetor now, so that's a good sign. I then grab my fire extinguisher. We'll keep one of these on the tow truck all the time, just in case. You're revved up. Well, that's just because I don't know if we got a throttle stuck or if that was just because the amount of fuel I manually pushed into the carburetor there. I didn't really like it going that high RPM though. What we got throttle wise? Oh, this throttle's potentially wide open there because this is all messed up. We got, let's see, maybe that's idle there. Ugh. He's idling. Actually doesn't sound too bad. She died. All right, guys, so we got the 8-door Suburban to run. So that was kind of my main goal, make sure to run. I need to get new fuel lines to run to the tank. I need to drop that tank, inspect it, probably just order a whole new tank and sending whatever unit goes down in the tank back there. Probably order all that new. I think I should be able to get a 40-gallon tank that'll fit in here. The bigger tank, the better. I don't like the tank location, but it's gonna be hard to put one anywhere else. Mostly for off-roading purposes, which this thing is going to do some off-roading. I guarantee it's gonna do some off-roading. When you get tires for it, I don't really need those right now. This will drive it in and out of the shop if I need to. Obviously we need lights. Big priority is gonna be the roof and fixing the holes in the roof because we gotta get, you can see the taillight over there. We got a lot of holes in the roof. Not sure what the best way, if any of y'all are into body work and restoring old vehicles, let me know what the best way to do this is. I've got a lot to learn. My thought is cut some of that out so I can get to good clean metal and then see if it's small. Maybe I can just weld that hole up. If it's not, I'll have to put in a plate or something. These crossbars are really rusty. I'm gonna have to get all this completely cleaned off. It's a big mess. There's a lot of work to do here and I don't really know where to start. I'm probably gonna start by ripping out the carpet, get all this out, see how the floor is, and then start addressing how are we gonna fix the roof and seal the roof. We gotta fix the roof, we gotta fix the floor. At that point, we can put some seats in it, that kind of thing, start getting it, you know, functional to some degree. There's a lot of work to do in the dash, under the hood. Seems to be fairly mechanically solid, but there's definitely some electrical work to do. So we have our work cut out for us, but it's going to be a fun project. It's going to be really cool to use it. I'm looking forward to building this into something functional. It's not going to turn into a big showpiece. It's going to turn into a functional 8-door Suburban that we can load up the whole family in and go on some crazy adventures of some sort.
Daddy,
Who knows? Maybe roof racks, maybe rooftop tents, maybe storage in the back. I don't know. Or maybe we just fix it up like it is, make it look as nice as we can, and just use it to drive around sometimes. But it's going to be a fun project. So that's all I'm going to work on today. We'll try to get it into the shop at some point so I can start gutting out the interior, get it out of the weather so we can keep it from deteriorating any further. So that being said, thanks for coming and checking out the 8-door Suburban. Stick around because there's a lot more to do on this thing.